welcome to the show. We at Trucking Life welcome you all. Now, pull that rig over, hit the head, grab a drink and snack, settle in, and let's get this show on the road. And now, your host.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Trucking Life.Live's live show. Trucking Life comes to you every week, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you have not already done so, please hit that like and the follow if you're on Facebook, or hit the subscribe and the notification bell icons if you are on YouTube. So that way you never miss an episode, and also a notification for when we are live. I am your host this Wednesday night. My name is Ed Plow. You can find me online on Facebook at Big Rig Ed, and I also have a YouTube channel called Big Rig Ed. If you are a trucking life newbie, meaning that this is your first time catching one of our live shows, I just want to say first, damn, look at you. Looking good. Thanks for coming by. See, here's the thing. Nobody really knows this, but whenever we're doing a Trucking Life.Live show, those front-facing cameras are turned on. I can see all of you right now smiling with a big, goofy smile on your face. Y'all are looking beautiful. Johnny, all I can say is nice. No, I'm just kidding. I can't actually see you guys. If you are a repeat offender, meaning that you come by every week at 7 p.m., you park your rig early, because you cannot get enough. You cannot miss an episode of This Trucking Life. Hi, welcome back. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Kick your shoes off. Get comfortable. We have a good show for you tonight. All right. Now, I am not going to keep her backstage any longer. I know she's chomping at the bit. And if she ain't chomping at the bit, I know her dog is. She is my co-host, cohort, co-worker, and a damn good friend. She is the beautiful, the wonderful, the lovely, the incredibly hilarious, the one, the only mother trucker, Melissa Ryckman.
I don't even know where to go with that kind of introduction.
Say like, hi. What's up?
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Now, Melissa.
Yes.
That does not look like the inside of a truck. What's going on here? Oh, hold on. Let me guess. Our company paid for a hotel for you, and it's because when you become a famous, internet famous author of a future New York Times bestseller, right? Mother Trucker, because it's never too late, that you become above sleeping in the back of a truck. God forbid. Oh boy. Right? Got to have a hotel room, right? Is that what's going on?
We might have to have a talk with Sergey about that one. No, nice. The truck is in the shop, so we get to splurge and sleep in a really nice, comfortable bed for once. So
that's awesome. I'm happy for you. Yep. Nope. I'm in my truck. I'm currently in what's the name of this town? McLean, Illinois. Okay. I'm at that Road Ranger right there with the nice big Dixie diner. I haven't tried it yet, and I don't know if they're still going to be open when this thing is over.
I gotcha.
All right. I don't believe that we have any housekeeping notes. I am coming to you completely live. I have no written remarks. I have nothing up my sleeves. Right. I am pulling a Bill O'Reilly. I'm saying, F it, we'll do it live. So we'll see how tonight goes. However, I know we don't have any housekeeping notes. So Missy, do you want to go ahead and launch right into current trucking transport news? Oh, yep. And Trip heard that. Yep. And he's.
Yeah. The joys of staying in a hotel with a pet.
Awesome.
Y'all might want to mute me.
All good. Well, no, we can't mute you because the first topic that we're going to talk about is the People's Convoy, 2022.
Yes, the People's
All right, so I
Convoy
know that
started
you've been
today.
doing the research on it, so you grab your notebook there and tell the people about the People's Convoy.
The People's Convoy started today in California, and it should have stopped tonight in Kingman, Arizona. If people want to know most of the information, their website, thepeoplesconvoy.org, has everything. It has their trucker declaration. It has where you can go to see the map that they're following, their schedule. It looks like on March 5th is when they plan on being in the Beltway around Washington, D.C. So you can go to their page. It's got a lot of information. They've got their media press release, the PDF form if you want to. Yep, there's the map. And so you can kind of take a whiz at their website and check it out, and it gives you all the information that you need. If you want to follow it or if you want to support it, it's up to you. So their website's pretty user friendly, and I could tell because I am not user friendly when it comes to computers a lot of times. So their site does have a lot on there. It's interactive, and anything you need to know, just go look at their website.
Excellent. And we're going to be discussing them a little bit more at length a little bit later on in the show. Let's see. All right. Let's see. So the other big news coming out this week is John Krishner Trucking is no more, right? This happened just after the Wednesday show. Well, I shouldn't say that it's no more. They're going to exist for the time being. But they were acquired by Hirschbach. Missy, I think you got some numbers for me on that.
Yeah, right now it looks like if you add the two together, it's 2,400 Hirschbach. I always say it wrong, so do not hold that against me. And John Krishner has 800 trucks, so it looks like 3,200 trucks and 5,000 trailers once the acquisition happens and they acquire the company. So that's one thing and I guess in the next couple of months, we should be seeing a difference on the road with those two companies. So.
Yeah, the bit that I was hearing on that was John Krishner Trucking was going to continue to exist for the time being, but we've seen enough of those big company acquisitions. Basically, the JCT their fleet's gonna age out, and then we're just gonna see more Hirschbachs out on the road there. So that's a pretty big acquisition there. Hirschbach was already a very major player in the refrigerated freight industry, and now they've grown pretty quickly overnight. Let's see, another piece of news that I was looking at, Missy, I don't know if you saw this, but Cummins just bought Meritor. That was a $3.7 billion acquisition there. That's the big news. I think that was yesterday that was announced.
I read that today too.
So Cummins and Meritor are merging together now. So that's gonna become a thing. Let's see. You had some world news to share with everyone, I believe, right?
Well, the biggest world news, it's actually probably not world, just on the other side of the states, is they had a helicopter crash at the U.S. Navy facility in Hawaii, and 4 were killed. So for all of our veterans, brothers and sisters, we're thinking of them, thinking of the families.
Right.
They had 2 Black Hawk helicopters go down in Utah. But there was everybody walked away from that one, thankfully. But there is some stuff going on worldwide. And do you want to cover all that? I know you are the news guru. So.
Well, I don't really have anything else to do while I'm driving all day. I can't sit in a nice cushy posh hotel room there.
Hey, somebody's got to write the books.
I'm gonna keep holding that against you. I wish my truck was in the shop this week. But no. The other big news is Russia has, according to the Biden administration, right, the word that they're using is invasion. There were a couple of separatist territories on the eastern portion of Ukraine there. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but They were separatist territories. They were, according to them, they were loyal to Putin and to the Russian Federation. And so Russia has moved their forces into those territories. Putin put out a statement the other night claiming that these territories as independent, and so that's becoming a thing. They've moved in troops, calling them peacekeepers. I know the Biden administration and the Trudeau administration, and I can't think of his name, but the emperor, or not the emperor, the prime minister of Japan. They have all issued sanctions against those now independent territories. So the situation is ongoing.
Yes.
But that was the last news that I heard about that, and that changes every hour. So it could very well be while I was preparing for the show, something changed, and so I'm sure we'll hear about it in the comments, right? Because that's a rule of the internet. You know, if you want the right answer, all you got to do is say the wrong answer first, right?
That's correct. Hey,
good stuff. All right. The next big announcement that Missy and I have is that our blog is now officially live, right? It's up.
yes.
It is on truckinglife.live, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Debate Life. Very good. Thank you. And and there we go. A lifetime of debate. Wonderful graphics. Good stuff. So the whole point of this blog is that it's trying to do something a little bit more than your typical news sources for these particular topics, where all you get is a couple of the journalists' views, a couple of the authors' views of a particular topic. So what Missy and I do every week is we choose a topic, and we both go on our merry little way, and we might share a couple sources here or there, but we both come up with our own views of this topic, whatever it is, trucking related, and we try to give you multiple points of view on that particular topic, so that way whenever you are reading that blog, you can come away more informed and more equipped to form your own opinion, and make that an informed opinion as well. Now, this week's show, what Missy and I are going to do is we're going to talk about our first topic in that blog, which is the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program. But before we get into it too much, I just want to say that Missy and I we're our own people. Journalistic integrity means a lot to us, and whenever we're basically putting ourselves in a very vulnerable position by coming out so vocally and publicly with our opinions. So if we say something that you disagree with, even if it's vehement, that disagreement, I just want to make sure that any readers of ours or viewers of ours, please be respectful when you want to voice that opinion. It is interactive. We definitely want you to interact with us, right? If we get something wrong, we want to know it. We're not trying to say that we're the end-all, be-all arbiters of truth in that blog. And that's actually a big part of it. If Missy and I happen to agree with each other on a topic, one of us will play devil's advocate. And that happened in our very first blog because we happen to agree with each other. But that's not the end, right? Maybe we get things wrong. Missy, anything you want to add real quick before we take our first commercial break?
Well, our biggest thing is I think it's an age difference, and of course it's a male-female perspective. So I think it's wonderful that we both come in from two totally different sides, and I'm just looking forward to more blogs. Our first one, I think, turned out really good, and I hope to have more interaction with our fans, and be able to have a further discussion on down the line once we put out that debate. So I'm looking forward to everything that we're getting ready to talk about. So I'm handing it back to you.
Excellent. Jed, roll the commercials. And we are back. Did you miss us? Because we missed you. All right. Well, so we are going to go ahead and get right into the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program. Melissa, could you be a dear and do a quick introduction? What is the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program? What does it do? What does it aim to achieve?
According to Congress in the bill that was passed and wrote into law, this pilot program, is going to take 3,000.
Oh, I don't know if I froze or if she froze. Did we miss her? No. All right. So, yep, just as... oh, there she goes. She's back.
Oh.
Hear me?
I'm back.
All right, there we go. All right, try again.
Okay. So, I don't know what you guys heard, but let's start all over.
Right. Yeah,
so
start all over. I think we lost you right at the beginning.
Okay. The program that we read about and is in law is about the 3,000 18 to 20-year-olds that are going to be going through a pilot program to operate a commercial vehicle in interstate commerce. There is in-depth detail as far as what the training is supposed to consist of, the people that are supposed to oversee the program, and it's for a 3-year program. So this is what we did. We read every detail of the actual bill itself, and then we decided, hey, let's see what side we're going to be on. So.
And in typical us fashion, it turns out that we were both on the same side. What did we think about it, Melissa?
Well, I immediately went through mama bear phase, and as a mother of now grown children, but having said grown or adult teenagers who wrecked my vehicles, I would think that would be the worst thing in the world, would be to give keys to an 80,000 pound bomb to an 18-year-old. So my immediate thought was no.
Well, maybe not just no. What did you say?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah. Just thinking of everything that goes into a daily life of a trucker is not just turning the steering wheel. I mean, it's the trip planning. It's the four-wheelers that are running around underneath you. It's the patience. It's the backing. It's everything that goes, that balls up into one big ball of, there's a lot more than just driving down the road. I feel like the amount of responsibility given to an 18 to 20-year-old, if something were to happen, I think it would be detrimental. And I don't know that I'd want young people. It's already bad enough when we have, 21 end up have an accident, or let's say something happens and right in front of their truck and they don't have time to react and it happens. That's a lot to carry for a young person. So I used my mama feels for this one. So.
Yeah. Nope. And that's a perspective that I definitely can't have. I do not have children of my own, except for this little guy. Look, I got my little co-pilot here with me. But my objection to it, and I was really surprised at where I came in on the whole thing, because I'm a relatively young person myself. I just turned 31 earlier this month, and I've been basically dealing with the corporate world of my ideas don't matter, my thoughts don't matter, my opinions don't matter, because of my age, that I'm not capable of forming a valid or coherent opinion on a matter. And so that's basically been my experience whenever I've been doing, I've had a couple of business management jobs, I've had a couple of supervisor jobs, and that's basically where it comes down to. But the my whole thought on it was that I was against it, and the reasons were because it's a solution in search of a problem. B, it doesn't address the actual problems that are facing the industry. And C, it's incredibly unfair for the apprentices. So the whole idea behind it is that it's supposed to address the, in air quotes, driver shortage. So in order for you to believe that the program is necessary, you have to believe that the driver shortage is also real. And it's not. There's more licensed drivers in the United States than there are trucks to drive. What the actual issue is a driver retention issue, where either because of the lifestyle or because of their pay, or for whatever reason, or maybe the companies aren't treating them correctly, or, there's all sorts of reasons why a driver quits the industry. We have too many fully experienced, fully licensed, fully capable of driving a truck drivers that are just sidelined in this country, not being utilized, because they just said to hell with it, it's not worth it, and they left. So those are my first two big issues with it. And the third one is that for the apprentices, think about what it's going to be like for them. They're going to have just as hard of a time as a 21-year-old new driver. They're going to have accidents. They're going to have oopsies, same as anyone else does when they're first learning and starting out. Their training probably isn't going to be the best. They're not going to be treated all that well. Let's be completely honest. The only companies that are going to be hiring 18, 19, 20-year-olds for the job are going to be the mega carriers, because no insurance company is going to accept the liability for insuring a truck that's being driven by an 18-year-old. It's already hard enough to find insurance companies willing to insure 21-year-olds. There's a lot of these smaller mom and pop trucking companies. They won't hire you unless you're older than 25. So that's going to be a big challenge for them, is just finding work. The first several years of their careers. But yeah, no, the first time that things go wrong, things go awry. The first thing that's going to happen is people are going to point at their age, and they're going to say, see, told you couldn't hack it. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's not fair to them. The other big issue is that, a lot of these mega carriers, they're going to have these training programs that it basically turns into a debt peonage. And I think that's something that you and I, Missy, we can do like a whole episode on that later on, is these debt peonages that are popping up here, where, yeah, we'll give you training. But if you leave before a year, then you owe us thousands of dollars. And the thing is, like an 18-year-old, they don't have the credit for that. They don't have that type of money just sitting around. They're in the most vulnerable financial points of their lives. And they're going to try out this job is, frankly, not even set up for them to succeed in. And when they don't succeed, now they've got thousands of dollars of debt on their credit, hitting them and making it harder for them to, buy cars, houses, whatever it is that they need to be a functional member of society. And it's really just not fair to them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ed. And, and this isn't just a problem with 18 to 20-year-olds, because I see plenty of people every single day doing it. But in today's society, with our social media obsessions that we have with TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, it's just going to be a matter of time before that's, people going into the situation. Do I think they're going with a good intentions? Yeah, but how many videos out there are, people rating to do challenges? We read a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was about a month ago, about the TikTok challenge of pulling kingpins, and then waiting around to see if somebody, pulled out from underneath their trailer. Well, I'm not saying that would be just an 18 to 20-year-old thing, but 18 to 20-year-olds, especially their brains, I don't think they're fully functionable enough to take on the responsibility of, being in a truck and knowing the power that they have that's underneath them when they're going down the road. So that's one thing that I do worry about. Like I said, my mama feels we're all into this one. So
yeah. Just want to say shout out to Angela. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining in. I saw her comment pop up there, so it kind of warms my heart to see her joining in here, considering where she's at.
Angela left the land of all of us to go party and have a wonderful vacation. So we hope you're having fun, Angela.
There we go. Stop working.
Yes.
All right, so we've got a few minutes here. I just wanted to go ahead and go over my devil's advocate piece. So Melissa and I, we agree. We're both against the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program, SDAP, as I sometimes shorten it to. But that doesn't mean that it is a completely negative program. It does a few things very right. I believe Chris had said a few things down there. I didn't get a chance to read the whole thing. But something about could be a good program if it's implemented correctly, and I agree with that completely. It's a couple of things that it does is it requires that the apprentice complete 400 hours of active training, meaning that there is a fully fledged, experienced trainer in that passenger seat with that apprentice. He has to have a driving record, and the drive has to be a very advanced, modern, safe truck. It's got to have the forward collision, active cruise with braking. It's got to have a 65 mile an hour speed governor. It has to have an automatic transmission. A whole bunch of different things that are designed to, and you can disagree with these requirements if you want, but all of these things combined make for a easy to drive truck. My truck that I currently has, it would meet pretty much all these requirements. You would just have to slow it down a little bit. But it's got all sorts of different automatic lights, low beams, high beams, automatic wipers, lane departure warnings, blind spot monitoring, trailer monitoring, all sorts of things. And I have to say it's the easiest truck I've ever driven in my life. It's not a whole lot to drive it compared to some of the older trucks out on the road. So that's something that's really good. The other thing is that it's a pilot program. It's only 3,000 drivers. It's not going to change the industry overnight. It doesn't give large carriers the ability to just start hiring 18-year-olds carte blanche, right? They can only have so many people. The other thing is that in a way it kind of makes sense to allow CDL holders that are currently involved in intrastate driving. So like right now, it's perfectly legal for a 19-year-old to pick up a load in El Paso, Texas, and drive it all the way to, I think I said Beaumont, Texas in the blog. It's like an 800-mile trip, right? Which is a pretty decent trip for, most of us experienced drivers and interstate drivers. But it's illegal if that trip, if that freight has to go to Lake Charles, Louisiana, across state lines, has to go 60 more miles down the road, then that's illegal. But it's perfectly legal for him to drive it the first 800 miles to get there, right? So this program, if successful, has the potential to be a boon to small regional carriers, and it could work out. Melissa, anything you wanted to add before we take another commercial break?
No, I think you covered pretty much everything. The only one little thing I wanted to add, and this gentleman was, I want to say 25 or 26. He was the guy who was in Denver that he actually had a license from Texas, and he got his license with an interpreter, which in the state of Texas is legal. But he ended up going across state lines into Colorado, and then said that he could not read the signs for like the runaway ramp. But he also worked for a company that had insufficient equipment. He already knew that the brakes were having problems, and he still went ahead and took the route. I mean, went ahead and took the load, saying that he was forced to do so. Which, as an adult, it's one of those things. The CDL is in your name. It's not in your company's name. It's not in your dispatcher's name. And so you have the right to say, oh, no, I'm not going to do it. Do people do it anyway? Yes, he was a prime example. And he ended up killing several people. And then there was a big outrage about the number of years he got for all of the felonies for the manslaughter. And he was so young. He was still young enough to panic and not know what to do. I have a feeling if the younger population, if we do the 18 to 20-year-olds, we're going to have a lot of that issue. I think it's something that these 3,000 are going to really show us if it's really going to be something that's going to be successful. But I hope it just doesn't get stuck into some mega carrier where it's just a number. So I think it has a lot. There's a lot to be seen in the next 3 years with this program. So.
Right. Excellent. All right. Well, Jed, go ahead and roll the commercials, and we'll be back with you after a short message from our sponsors.
Listen up, Mother Truckers. Missy Ryckman's debut novel, Mother Trucker Because It's Never Too Late, is now available in hardback, paperback, and ebook format. Sandy, the main character, is in the middle of a midlife crisis. It leads her to become a truck driver, and this new venture brings not only passion and adventure back to her life, but also 4 new best friends. Sweet and sassy, Mother Trucker is Smokey and the Bandit meets Bridesmaids. Filled with comedy, emotion, and some embarrassing adventures across America, Missy draws from her own life experiences in this hilarious, heartfelt book about rediscovering yourself. Order today at www.mothertruckerthebook.com or go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble and order your copy today. All ratings and reviews are welcome on Amazon or Goodreads.com. Happy reading, Mother Truckers.
And we're back. One thing that I wanted to add to what Melissa was saying about the whole the gentleman not being able to read. What was it that you were saying precisely? How he had to get his license through an interpreter, something along those lines?
In the state of Texas, you can get your driver's license with the help of an interpreter.
Right.
But for the federal, across the board for interstate for your Class A, you cannot. And the signs, I don't even know in Texas if they have any signs that have dual languages on them or not. But across the board, we do not. Everything is in English, and you have to make sure you can read, like the runaway signs. That was the biggest thing that he said he did not know what those were. So. And I think you froze. I think he's froze. So one thing that I don't know how many states, I know a lot of the Southwest, several of those states have problems. Not problems, but they have different, there you are. They have different rules and regulations than we do across the board. So.
Right. So as I understand it, the federal regulation is that anyone who holds a valid CDL operating in interstate commerce has to be able to read and speak conversational English. And whenever I was a CDL instructor, that was something that I had to use. That was a regulation that I would have to pull out pretty often in order to make a case to my company as to whether or not we could safely hire a person. I once took on an individual that he had a reading disability. He was in his 40s, I believe, but he had the reading ability of a second grader. So you would put a piece of paper in front. Well, you'd give him his pre-trip sheet, and the word would be something like plate, right? Like talking about a fifth wheel skid plate, and he couldn't read it. You would start driving around town, and he knew certain signs off the bat because of their shapes and everything, but you get like in front of an electronic sign and he couldn't read it, and so that ended his employment right then and there, because we couldn't trust him to drive from one side of the country to the other and not have an accident. And that's that type of digging into what a person's qualifications are, what they're capable of doing, what they're not capable of doing, and then making that decision before it becomes too bad. That's just not something that happens a whole lot in trucking nowadays. Now it's, are you a living, breathing person? Are you capable of holding on to the steering wheel? Here's a $250,000 piece of equipment and 40,000 pounds worth of freight. Go haul it. And that's just really sad. It's really sad.
And I think a lot of people in the industry do get a bad rap, because once they went from a manual transmission to an automatic transmission, that right there, first of all, took out a lot of the hard part of being a trucker. They get saved many people's knees, and I think that a lot of people genuinely like their automatics until it gets to the bad weather, or to situations where they feel like a manual transmission would do better in the situation. But that in itself, a lot of people are like, oh, anybody can drive a semi. No, not everybody can drive a semi. And
right.
So
trust me, I've tried. I've had to give up on a lot of people.
Yeah. And it is something that, you're not just sitting there for 11 hours a day holding the steering wheel. No, you have the environment around you. You have four-wheelers, you have other trucks, you just have everything. It's not just holding the steering wheel and, singing, Disney princess songs going down the road every day. So,
do you have some sort of live feed into my truck? How did you know?
Well,
I don't know if my wife is watching, but that's actually, yeah.
Yeah, Brooke would probably get a tickle out of that one, wouldn't she?
She liked my rendition of Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid.
I bet she did. As long as you're not on YouTube taping it while you're going down the road, or have a live stream, we're good.
No,
so.
But yeah, I had it on repeat for a while. I don't know. I had it stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Let's see. Did we have anything else we wanted to say about the Safe Driver Apprenticeship Pilot Program before we move on to our next topic?
Just look at our First Debate Live inaugural blog, and feel free to comment, and we encourage all interactions. Our next one is probably going to be a little bit of an in-depth look at ourselves. We're going to...
there she is. She just commented. She says, I am watching, and yes, he has. Yep.
Yes, Brooke. Okay. we might need you to get in the truck with Ed one day, just so we could get this full.
We're doing some duets going down the road. You should see her in Encanto. She won't talk about Bruno.
That is awesome. That's awesome. But our next one, our next blog that we're working on is going to be kind of a fun one. We're looking inward at the top five rookie mistakes, or mistakes that rookies make, and the top 5 mistakes that seasoned drivers make. So look forward to that one. And once it comes out, you guys tell us if you think we're on the money with those, or if there's something else that we should have added to our list. So
right.
I'm really pleased with what our first one. I'll encourage y'all to go look at it.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely goes into a lot more depth than what we're able to do here. But the next thing that we want to talk about, so this was an idea that we have for a blog, but since you and I are sitting here and we have all of our viewers watching us, and we are live, right? Let's talk about the People's Convoy. What's your opinion on the People's Convoy? Good, bad, indifferent, a force of change? Oh, did I lose her? Let's see if she's coming back here. There she goes.
There
I don't
I
know
am.
what was the last thing you heard.
We were getting ready to talk about, and that was it.
Okay, so let's talk about the People's Convoy.
Okay.
I want to hear what your take is on that convoy. Good, bad, indifferent, a force of change, a force of headache, or I'm sorry, a source of headache rather. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I think it's a good thing that we have somebody who's an organization that's taken into consideration all the things that are going on in today with the pandemic and the restrictions and the mandates. And we all know it started in Canada, and
Yep.
this group that's going seems like they have a good game plan. I think as long as everybody exercises their free speech and there's no violence, they are not blocking the roadways from people getting to and from work and everybody else getting down the road. I think it's no. I think it's okay. I know this is probably going to turn into a partisan thing and probably divide the country. I I think their intentions are good, and I think their intentions are to represent everybody in this country. And it's not just for the mandates for truckers. I think that they want to represent everybody, people in healthcare. I've read quite a bit on their press release and their truckers declaration, and I think it's an okay thing.
Good.
What about you, Ed?
We disagree.
I knew this one was coming, and I'm just waiting to hear what you have
the
to
debate
say.
is on. All right. So the bit of research that I've done into it, I went on their website and I watched the video. I don't remember if his name was Mike Lindens or Mark Lindens or something along those lines. He seems to be the guy in charge, so to speak, for the People's Convoy. It's his video on the website explaining what it's all about, and I take a couple of big issues with his statements that he made in that video. And the first part is that if you listen to his statements, they're very nationalist in nature. So something that I've been saying for a number of years in our current political climate is that there's a big difference, there's a big divide between nationalism and patriotism. So a nationalist is not necessarily a patriot, although they will wrap themselves up in the flag of their country and claim to be a patriot. They don't necessarily have the best interests of their nation at heart. So my issue with Mr. Lindens is that he believes that the Constitution is an absolute. He believes that our rights are absolute, and that's just not true. Our rights are limited. Supreme Court cases have said that we have limitations on our rights, and the Constitution is a living document. It changes over time, and it should change over time. But everything about this nation is not perfect, and if you have to go back to the preamble of the Constitution, it says, "We the people to form a more perfect union." It doesn't say to form a perfect union, right? Because America has never been perfect, not even during its formative years. During that process, it was not perfect. The Federalists and the Anti-Federalists fought like cats and dogs for decades before the Democratic and the Republican parties were even a thing. And then even then, it wasn't even the Republican Party. It was the Whig Party first. But anyway, so the my other issue that I take is using. Well, I'm sorry. I should go back to my first point. A patriot is a person that can see the problems that are facing his nation, and admits that our nation has faults, loves his country regardless, and then works to do to make the changes necessary to form a more perfect union. And so everything that I heard from Mr. Lindens was very nationalist in nature, was not what I would say was patriotic in nature. Secondly, one of the things that he said was that whenever the National Emergencies Act was enacted, that all of our civil liberties were suspended. We don't have freedom of speech. We don't have freedom of assembly. We don't have a right to bear arms. All of that was suspended due to COVID restrictions, and it's just not factually true. The I'll just make one quick point. The National Emergencies Act, enacted in 1976 by Gerald Ford. Again, I have no prepared remarks. I'm pulling that out of my head. Since that act has been in service, there have been 60 national emergencies, and currently I believe there are 31 still in effect. The oldest one goes back to 1979 under the Carter administration. Just because a president declares a national emergency, martial law is not then declared. Our civil liberties are not under siege, so to speak. So there's a couple of factual inaccuracies with the basis of his protest, and I take issue with that. We're a little past time. We're going to take a last commercial break here. Jed, roll the clips.
Are you tired of overpaying the IRS year after year? Let me find you every possible legal deduction to reduce your tax liability. Specializing in over-the-road drivers, owner-operators, and their families, I can help you. We have a free mobile app and same-day cash advances available. Contact me, Sarah Darling, at 903-932-8249 or email sarah.darling@lgmfinancialconsulting.com. We are an authorized IRS e-file.
And we are back. Let's see. Chris has been saying a few things right here, and I want to call out the last one that he said right there. I feel it would be more effective if the People's Convoy parked. Yes, Chris. So I'm gonna throw something out here, right? In order to have an effective protest, the size of your disturbance, the size of your disruption, has to be relative and justifiable as to the righteousness of its cause. All right. So if your disruption is huge, right? Think of what happened in Canada. We're talking billions of Canadian dollars, in the Canadian economy gone due to loss of the ability to trade, because that whole protest turned more into a trade blockade than a protest. Then yeah, it's going to be bad. And and they kind of plug in Margaret's points a little bit, what she's got going on coming in the pipeline there. Yeah, it would be extremely helpful for the people not to just see trucks parked in the beltway, but people, and to see the truckers themselves, right? Because we're not just our trucks. I don't agree with the use of trucks as a mechanism for protest, right? Because it's just a little too perfect, if that makes sense, right? Because we're huge, we're heavy, right? We can completely block things up. We have our own air conditioners, our own heaters. We have beds, right? We can park ourselves on a safe street. I can park my truck for probably 2 to 3 weeks without ever needing a grocery store run or anything like that. Like if I wanted to block something up, I could, and it would be way too easy for any of us to do that. But yeah, yep, that's what I'm saying too, bud. That's what I'm saying. All right, Melissa, any thoughts to add?
No, other than I see that Chris has said that I already had a show and tell this week, so I think he's just calling me out on my situation. Let's just say it's probably a good thing we're having a blog next week about mistakes, because I had a big mistake and my truck is in the shop. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Okay, Melissa, you're still a badass trucker. I probably would have done a lot worse in that situation. That place sucked. I don't hold that against you at all. I wouldn't have wanted to go there.
Yeah, it was a bad situation, but there's things I probably could have done differently. So I learned, and I can't wait to get my pretty truck back. So.
Yeah, no, that's the mark of a true professional right there. It's not that you get everything right perfectly the first time, every single time. It's that you recognize when a mistake gets made and you're willing to work on getting it fixed and doing it better going forward. Let's see. Before we end the show, everyone, I want to take a moment and thank you for joining in with us tonight. If you've left a comment, I'm going to scroll through these comments real quick. I'm going to see if anyone has made a point that I want to bring out publicly. I've been trying to keep up with them, but it's a little hard to talk and read at the same time. People that do this regularly, I have a lot more respect for y'all.
While you're reading, Ed, let me go ahead and put this out. It's a couple months from now, but everybody needs to know the Blitz Week for the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance has already put it out. May 17th through the 19th, and they're focusing on wheel ends this year. So everybody, you get up in the morning or you get up at night whenever you're driving, make sure your pre-trip's on point, because come May, it's going to be we're going to be seeing all of the bears on the side of the road. So make sure that everybody knows that it was announced this week. So it gives everybody enough time in advance to make sure everything looks good as it's going down the road.
Yep, get your stuff fixed. Lights, tires, brakes, pre-trip your truck. This is it's the time to get it done there. One comment that I saw here was Aaron Dennis said that if they can drive within the state, why not across state lines? I don't think 18 is old enough for them to drive a rig anywhere. Yeah, there we go. Thank you for that comment. And that's a valid point. Science says that our brains don't stop developing until 25 or 26. It's probably a big reason for that insurance requirement for a lot of things, that you got to be 25 before you can drive anything anywhere. That's a valid point, and something that we should all think about. Let's see, what else do we have coming up here? Yep, keep them local until they're about 25 years old. And that's an interesting point, because in my experience, like, you think local driving would be easier, right? Because you're just staying in a place that you are very comfortable with. You know where the roads are, you know where the legal roads are, where the good roads are, you know where all the stopping points are, right? But I don't know. Every time, whenever I used to do a local run, I felt like that was trucking on hard mode, right? Because all the places that I went to, things got tight real quick. And if anything, I became a better driver because of it. Melissa, you got a thought on that?
I kind of agree with you on that. I feel like a lot of local places like farms, agricultural places are probably the best place for people to start. I feel like it's you got a lot more to work with. The in-town routes for commerce, I think, is probably some of the tightest docks. You're dealing with more public, people around you, all the four-wheelers. So if you're 18 to 20 and you're getting a job within the state, I'd say, hey, you're getting.
Oh, I think we lost her again. Let's give her a minute. We're almost at the end of the show, everyone. Let's see if she joins back on. There she goes.
I keep losing you. I'm telling you, this internet in a hotel is not the same as my truck.
Hey, you've got a toilet. You're doing better than me.
Hey, yes, and a hot shower that I don't have to put on clothes and walk into a truck stop to take. So, not to rub that in. And a good breakfast in the morning that I don't have to cook.
Come on. Rub it in. Make it hurt, why don't you?
I'll be back out there this weekend, so.
Good stuff. Yep, we need you back out on the road.
Yes, we got plenty to move down the road, that's for sure.
All right. Well, ladies, gentlemen, all non-binary individuals in between, I believe that's going to make the end of the of this week's installment of Trucking Life's live show. The couple of things I want to plug. So we are going to have a Sunday brunch show this Sunday and every Sunday. Yep, there we go. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure that you are tuning in for that. Again, if you have not hit those follow and subscribe buttons along with the little bell icons, please do so that way you get your notifications. You never miss a live show. Yep, and you can find us at truckinglife.live as well. Excellent. And also want to plug a couple of our streamers. You can find The Misadventures of Pat and Heather. There we go. Also on truckinglife.live and also on our Facebook page, our Facebook group. You can also find Dutch, International Asphalt Junkies. He's one of our biggest and newest streamers right there. Dude goes live a lot. So much love and much respect to him. We've also got Live and Laugh and Trucking, I believe. I'm trying to remember all of these. This is all, again, I have nothing written down. I'm going off of memory here. Did I miss anyone, Melissa? Who am I missing?
Pink Panther? Yeah, Margaret, that trucking chick.
Yep, Margaret.
And Miami Pink Panther, who happens to be on vacation. So yes. Yes, Miss D, the job coach. So yes. And of course me, Mother Trucker. So
right. And of course me, Big Rig Ed. Right.
There you go.
Yep.
Yes.
I matter.
So,
there we are.
We're looking for more streamers.
Yes, we are.
We love encouraging people to join that are truckers, letting people see what their life on the road consists of. And you cook on the road, you organize your stuff on the road, your whole life on the road. Whether you have a dog, whether you're a single guy who sings mermaid songs to himself going down the road, hoping his wife hears on the phone. Who knows? We want it all. So.
Yep. Yeah, if you are an individual that's always thought about streaming but has never gotten into it, first off, do it. Do it. Right? And then get in touch with us. Get on truckinglife.live. Join the tribe. We'd love to hear from you and love to hear your perspective on things and see what trucking looks like out of your windshield instead of ours for a change. Truckinglife.live.
Absolutely.
All right. Excellent. All right. Well, that's the end of our show. Thank you for joining in. It was great seeing everyone here. Thank you for all the lovely comments. And Jed, go ahead and play us out, bud.
Bye-bye.
Bye.